98, I decided it was time to retire because I've had a few injuries.
Right.
Regrets?
Yeah.
Never. No.
Okay.
Why would I regret? No. Could I have gone on? With the injuries that I have and the high expectations of myself and that I put on myself, I don't want to get out there half-baked. I like to know that I am healthy and able. All of Whitney Houston's songs.
Oh wow.
Okay, but you know what? It's a tough question. I like Aretha Franklin. I love jazz, so Manhattan Transfer. But Whitney Houston.
Whitney Houston.
I like
Okay.
it. As a well-run federation, we realize the importance, and so we are happy to send them off as long as we can afford it. We would send them off to all of these tournaments in the U.S., in Korea, in Japan, and those are the three countries that have professional circuits back then. And now, our top players, they're playing on the big tour in the U.S. It's amazing, and they're achieving, they're winning. So they kind of place us on the world map.
Favorite children's cartoon? Because you're being a mother and all.
Merrily Melodies.
Okay.
Raj, I'm very, very thankful that every now and then I still get recognized. It's really sweet of you guys to recognize me on the streets, in wherever we meet, and sometimes even in a store. You give me the opportunity to reminisce, and I get to reminisce with you and to learn more about you too. It's really special and sweet, and so I really thank them and just for helping me relive what the past had been for me, and thank you for always doing that and not being shy about coming up to say hello.
We are here at Temasek Club, which is the home of Singapore bowling. We're going to play 2020 with, of course, Grace Young in the year 2020.
Okay.
Grace, favorite movie?
It'll have to be Untouchables. It's a French movie.
A French movie, not the Kevin Costner and
No.
Robert De Niro.
No.
Okay.
It's got Omar Sy in it. Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. Go and Google that one. Okay. Favorite actor or actress?
Ooh, it'll have to be Meryl Streep in Kramer vs. Kramer.
Right.
Jack Nicholson.
In what? The Shining.
No. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. And I really think Robert De Niro is a classic actor.
Yeah.
Love him.
Yeah, I loved him in The Irishman.
Oh yes.
Yeah. Favorite song?
Song. All of Whitney Houston's songs.
Oh wow.
Okay, but you know what? It's a tough question. I like Aretha Franklin. I love jazz, so Manhattan Transfer. But Whitney Houston.
Whitney Houston.
I like
Okay.
it, yeah.
So obviously, favorite singer artist is Whitney Houston.
Not necessarily.
Oh.
Barbara Streisand.
Oh wow.
Actually, A Star Is Born. Barbara Streisand, not the recent one with Lady Gaga.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Least favorite food?
Tripes, which are intestines and blood and what have you.
Oh, okay.
None of that.
Okay. Least favorite pastime?
Idling.
Idling? Not doing anything?
Yeah.
Okay. Least favorite animal?
I have a phobia for cats, so no pictures, no cats. No. And the smaller they are, the worse I am.
Right.
So.
Not even Cats the musical.
No thanks.
Least favorite drink?
I suppose anything a little too starchy. Yeah.
Okay.
Not my cup of tea.
Okay. Favorite place in the world?
If you put me on a mountain with beautiful snow and sunshine,
Yeah.
that's where I'll be.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Favorite tennis player?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I'm gonna have to say a hybrid between Federer and Nadal. I don't know who it is, but
Okay. Boris Becker, John McEnroe, or Ivan Lendl? Lendl, McEnroe, or Becker?
McEnroe.
McEnroe. Yeah. Okay. Favorite board game?
Ooh, Monopoly. No. Currently,
Yeah.
Rumi Cup.
Okay. Most memorable movie quote?
Might be from Godfather 3. The only wealth in the world is children. More than power and money on this earth.
Right. Was that
Just
by?
because I love children.
That's by Al Pacino.
I think so.
Right.
Godfather 3.
Yeah. Okay. Nice. Favorite ice cream flavor?
Hazelnut.
He's okay. Favorite children's cartoon? Because you're being a mother and all.
Merrily Melodies.
Okay. Your dream occupation?
Race car driver.
Ooh. Wow. Okay. So did you get to watch Ford versus Ferrari?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
But yeah.
Okay.
I'm waiting for the moment so my son and my husband and we could watch together.
All right. Okay. Least favorite car?
I don't have one.
No.
I don't have one.
Okay.
No.
Favorite 007 Bond?
Daniel Craig.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
So none of the classics.
Well, I think Sean Connery.
Sean, Roger.
Just because he's the original. But
Pierce.
Daniel Craig?
Yeah.
No. Pierce? No.
Yeah. No. Favorite Muppet? Miss Piggy, Gonzo,
No, Kermit.
Kermit.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Right. Last one. Favorite country other than Singapore?
I'm not sure if I've discovered it, but spending a lot of time in the US, there's so much to discover. It's a big country. So I do enjoy my time in the Big Apple and also recently I discovered Woodstock in Vermont.
Right.
I love it. I felt very relaxed and comfortable there.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Now that we are all warmed up, let's first talk about Grace Young, the mother. You have a 14-year-old teenage son named Kenneth. I understand he's a fan of basketball.
He's not just a fan, he plays.
He plays,
he plays for school, he plays for a couple of clubs. He's been playing for a while, yeah.
Okay. Does he know of your accomplishments of 7 SEA Games gold medals and 3 Sportswoman of the Year titles?
He knows. He's 15, he knows, yeah.
Okay. You're in your 50s,
Yes.
gracefully. You have a teenage son. So for all those the mothers who are watching at home, how do you attempt to connect with him given all the distractions of today with social media, mobile phones?
It's a constant battle. And for all the mothers out there with teenagers, it's not easy. I think what we need to do is to actually embrace it. It's not going to go anywhere. Devices, social media, screen time, that's not going to go anywhere. So key for me is really communication with him, and I do Snapchat with him.
Oh, you do?
Okay, and even when we're home together, I Snapchat him. So that's ridiculous, but it works. Yeah, so that's an important thing to do, to really be interested in who and what he likes, who he is, what he likes. I know, being in the 50s, how do you relate with a teenager? It's hard.
Yeah.
But speaking the language of love and just showing an interest in what he does, and just keeping up with the communication, that's going to help somewhat.
Okay. Yeah. All these years being a mother, what is the most memorable thing your son has said to you or about you, which you keep close to your heart?
I think actions speak louder than words. At 15, he still gives me hugs and kisses.
Oh, nice.
So that's, for me, is very special. He still tells me he loves me, because I do. I'm not shy about that. I still hug him and hold him and kiss him and express how I feel, and remind him that he's precious. And so, with that sort of a relationship, I don't need him to say very much to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you or do you intend to steer him into the sport of 10-pin bowling?
Funny you should say that, because he's been exposed since he was a little kid. Well, I would take him to the bowling center and he'll knock about, but that's never been any sort of interest.
Okay.
He picked up basketball at a very young age. But lately, he's been asking me to take him to a bowling center and to show him some moves. And I'm thinking, really?
Did you ask him where the interest is sort of?
Oh well, I think it's more getting out with his friends, and probably started with a school trip to a bowling center.
Okay.
And I guess he wants more than just to be the regular recreational bowler, maybe?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. We'll discover in time.
You never know. I mean, his friends might have said your mother was a one-time queen of bowling in Singapore.
I'm not sure if they know. And I don't think he brags about it.
Yeah. Okay.
That's okay.
Let's talk about yourself, the queen of bowling with 3 Sportswoman of the Year titles. Those 3 awards came between 1990 and 93. Does it seem a long time ago for you, or does it appear to be just like yesterday?
It's a really long time ago. First one was for my achievements in 1989. So it was 89, 91, 92, I think. It's a long time ago.
Okay.
It does seem like a while back,
Yeah. In case you're wondering, we are here at the Temasek Club, home of Singapore Bowling. We have the national teams training in the background. So you competed at the SEA Games from 1987 to 1995. You won 13 medals, 7 of which were gold. Looking back now, after more than 25 years, is there a tinge of regret or sadness that you retired in 1997, especially when you were in your early 30s, I suppose?
I was close to it was mid to late 30s.
Okay.
And in 98, I decided it was time to retire because I've had a few injuries.
Right.
Regrets?
Yeah.
Never. No.
Okay.
Why would I regret? No. Could I have gone on? With the injuries that I have and the high expectations of myself and that I put on myself, I don't want to get out there half-baked. I like to know that I am healthy and able, and so no tinge of regret at all. No.
Okay. Who is the man or woman that you attribute your success to? I mean, in other words, the person who got the Grace Young train rolling.
Well, there are 2 people. First was my first mentor, Victor Tam, who's passed away, and sadly, Henry Tan has also passed away recently. Yeah, they were coaches who coached with this, not to get the players, not just to get the players better, but to actually make them better people. And that's what I really love about them. And also the fact that they coach, they were very giving. of themselves. They were always making themselves available. And you know, in the end, they were more friends than coaches.
Yeah.
And I guess that's what makes it really special. They coach. They're really special people in a sense. You know that there's, you know, some coaches they're very aggressive, and then you get out there with them, and then you get a sense of resentment after, you know, being told what to do and all. I've never felt anything like that with Victor and Henry. So they've been really very special people to me. So yeah, I would say they got me going.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it safe to say that you were not a full-time professional back then, and you had a personal job, and bowling and representing Singapore was you know, a secondary option?
I did spend a lot of time bowling, training, and getting out to compete.
So was that a career?
It couldn't. It couldn't, just because we weren't that well supported.
Back then?
Yeah. So I you know, I did gigs, I did commentary work, I did TV work, I worked. But then I'll still say bowling was more full-time than the working.
Okay.
Yeah, because I did need, you know, I did spend a lot of time actually on the lanes training and yeah. So.
Okay. Well, time has evolved, and now you have athletes who are, you know, part of the spec scholarships and training full-time as a career.
Yeah.
When it came to pre-tournament preparations, how many hours would you train at the alleys on a daily basis?
You know, if I was preparing for a tournament, my kind of regular day would be getting out pretty early, getting out for a run, and getting to the center and getting onto my drills as soon as the center opens. It was about 9 o'clock. Train till about lunchtime, break for lunch, get back and bowl another probably 3 hours or so, and interspersed with getting to the gym. So it's a pretty full day actually. Quite a few hours.
Did you have a local or a regional rival or opponent that you always look forward to meeting, you know, at competition or at friendlies?
Well, so in my days, a long time ago, the Philippines, they were the people to beat. They were the athletes to beat. Right? And so people like Bongku and Arian and Paeng, they were the big names in the Philippines.
Right.
And so we were good friends, and I do look forward. I always look forward to also compete with them, whether here or Philippines.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who would you say was your best buddy with the national team set up about 25 years ago?
I'm not sure if I have a best buddy per se.
Maybe
I'm kind of a neutral person.
Okay.
And I try to get along with everybody. So.
No BFS. BFS.
No, not
okay.
Not.
Okay. I guess this next question, were you satisfied with the level of resources at your disposal? Back in the day, I think we probably know that answer.
Yeah, but then again, you know, if you don't know what's ahead, and if you don't know what's available, or whatever is not available, then I mean, you can't know it, right? And you just deal with it, and you just handle it as it comes, and you just manage. So back in those days, perhaps what I thought I could do to help myself, I did. In a sense, you know, I decided I would go in the gym, so I could, right? Nobody said I should or I have to, but I did. To start the mental game, preparing mentally. We didn't have sports psychologists then.
Yeah.
In fact, I must thank Barbara Hershey. I think she was the first person that the Singapore Sports Council brought in, and she somewhat reaffirmed what I was doing that was on track. So I was very grateful for that experience and encounter with her. So and so those were the things that I could do on my own. Probably I read up somewhere, you know, that I needed that, and that would be an asset to my game.
Right.
And so I did that. Whilst the rest of the team, they perhaps they didn't know, or they didn't work at it, or they didn't think it was necessary. But so that was how I kind of caught up with, because I did start quite late, at age 21 only. So possibly how I kind of caught up and made it in a short span of time. Yeah.
Okay. One of your biggest accomplishments, of course, was the third place finish in the World Cup in '94 and 2 bronze medals at the Asian Games. Do you feel that you could have done better?
Oh, Raj, you could always do better. What are you talking about? For sure.
No, I mean, there are a couple of athletes who might say, no, I think that was the best that I could have done.
Yeah. I suppose if that was, all the resources I had then, that was the best. I always give my best, and so that was the best that I could have done then. In hindsight, there were things that I could have done differently, perhaps.
Okay. Looking at the current crop of national players, is there one that is your favorite? The national
one particular athlete.
The national athletes.
I think they are a really good lot of players, athletes, who have really taken advantage of what's available to them.
Yeah.
They've done well. I don't have anyone in particular that I would name. I think the entire team, they've done really well. Kudos to them for really embracing all that's available.
Yeah.
And because the infrastructure has changed, the game has changed totally, and so it's good.
Okay.
We've got a good team.
Yeah. Do you envy the fact that the national players of today are able to travel to the United States and compete in the PWBA, which is the Professional Women's Bowling Association? And some of the athletes have done well, to win certain legs. Did you ever get a chance to compete on the US circuit?
No. It was never made available.
Right.
So that was what I was talking about, that they actually, took advantage of that. As a well-run federation, we realized the importance, and so we are happy to send them off. As long as we can afford it, we would send them off to all of these tournaments in the US, in Korea, in Japan, and those are the 3 countries that have professional circuits back then. And now, our top players, they're playing on the big tour in the US. It's amazing, and they're achieving, they're winning. So they kind of place us on the world map. So kudos to all of them, really. Yeah.
Do you still harbor any hopes of bowling being included in the Olympic Games one day?
For sure.
Yeah.
In fact, I was in the '96 Olympics in Atlanta when bowling was a demonstration sport.
Okay.
So, and I knew that the possibilities then was probably a bit challenging. But now I think for sure. I do hope that bowling will someday make it into the Olympics, for sure. Yeah.
Okay. So Grace, how do you feel about the status of women in sports today, especially in Singapore? Do you feel that they have enough of options in their post-sports career?
Tough question. There are probably more opportunities now than before. Obviously, with everything, it could be better.
Yeah.
But it also, on the part of the women, they need to also want to be involved. So it can be improved, but there are opportunities.
Okay.
If not as a job, then even to be a volunteer. For myself, I've been on the council of the federation for a while now. So these are just things that they can do to come on board, to participate as a council member, to give that sort of an input. So pretty much like being on the other side of the fence, really.
Yeah.
You have a very different perspective, but with the hindsight of an athlete, so which can be quite powerful. So there are opportunities for sure.
Okay.
Then can always be improved.
Okay. By council, you mean the Singapore Bowling Federation Council, right?
That's right.
Is there one defining moment in your sporting career that you would like to share with us on SG Sports Legends?
well, it's probably 1989 where Victor, my first coach and mentor, he passed away. But in that same year, I probably had a turnaround in my career, and I won many tournaments. I won the SEA Games Gold. I think I won 2 golds, 1 silver, and 2 bronzes, or something like that. Sorry, I can't remember. And also, and I won the Singapore Open as well. So with a good average, and so everything good turned around. It was good for me. It was a realization that, hey, I'm on the right track, because for a few years before that, I'm thinking, what have I done? My formative years, did I make a good choice? Did I, what am I doing here as an athlete? And am I on the right track? And, but sadly, my coach didn't get to see all of that. So for me, that's kind of, sad for me. But same here. Good things happen, a sad thing happened, but yeah.
So Grace, when did you develop the passion to play tennis?
Way before bowling.
Oh wow, okay.
Probably as a teenager.
As a teenager, right. In your opinion, what is the lure or the appeal of the sport?
It's a sport of urgencies, It's exciting. There's a lot of responding and reacting when you're on your feet, and with a huge dose of probably chess as well, the sport of chess. You kind of need to strategize and being on your feet at the same time, and it's fast moving. So it's really exciting for me. It energizes me.
Okay. Can you describe your own playing style?
I'm probably a conventional, straight up conventional, nothing fancy, but I do go for every shot. So
Yeah. Wow. Okay. And how often do you play in a week?
At least once.
At least once.
So I try to do it two or 3 times, but at least once.
Okay. Have you been able to travel to any of the Grand Slams to catch the top stars in action?
I did one time to Wimbledon.
Oh, wow.
And I managed to catch Serena Williams. She was playing Carolina Garcia, I think. Yeah.
Okay. Serena won.
Obviously.
Yeah, obviously. If you had the chance to do it all over again, would you have preferred to play tennis for Singapore or bowling?
Look, I have no regrets bowling.
Okay.
I picked it up at a very late age. But if I had a chance to play tennis, absolutely. I love it. Yeah.
Okay. Grace, besides tennis, I understand that you are also very busy with charity-related initiatives. Is there one that you're presently busy with?
Yes, it's the AWS, Ambulance Wish Singapore.
Okay.
So we grant wishes to the terminally ill who have 1 year's prognosis, certified by the doctor. And we are not affiliated to the original organization, which is in the Netherlands. But the story behind that is that this ambulance driver, he was sending a patient to a home. And because there was time and it was early, he said, we have time. Would you like to go elsewhere before we get to your destination? And they ended up at a beach, a seaside, a waterfront somewhere. And they had such a fabulous time. And it was so meaningful for the patients. And so this gentleman decided, hey, I could do this, I could give that sort of a service to all these patients who are terminally ill, because it made such a huge difference to them. And so that's how AWF, Ambulance Wish Foundation, was founded in Netherlands. And it's all over Europe, in some parts of Europe, but in Asia, we are the first in Asia. So the Ambulance Wish Singapore is the first in Asia. And that's exactly what we do. We grant wishes to the terminally ill who have 1 year's prognosis. And, you'll be so surprised that these wishes are so simple. The requests are having a meal with their family, getting out to the beach with their family, to take their family out. But it's just that they don't have the means, or it was difficult organizing it because you need the ambulance, you need the nurses, you need the social worker to come out as well, and so you sort of, there's so many moving parts, and so we try to fulfill these wishes, and the 3 that we fulfilled so far, not having raised any monies yet, have been so heartwarming and so truly meaningful for us. So it's an exciting project, and we try to collaborate with other palliative care organizations like the hospices and the homes. So we try to fill in the gaps. I mean, they're out there already, but a lot of the times it's the private person, the individual who's sponsoring such a sort of an occasion for the terminally ill. I know some homes do that, or hospices, they do that as well. But we are present here to try and fill in the gaps, and hopefully we can continue, and maybe even one day, buy our own ambulance.
I believe you're also busy actively hosting 2 Bible study groups.
Well, I'm quite involved in church. I'm part of the worship team, and I have coordinated a youth program. It's called the Alpha Youth Program. And I also am part of a Monday morning women's group.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And to be able to do all of that, I need to be fed myself with the Word. And so I am actively studying the Word every week in another group. It's called Precepts. And so that's my way of being fed the Word. Yeah.
Okay. Do you miss hosting and presenting on local television, sports programs?
For sure. But doing what I do in church and in the various organizations, I'm very much in touch still with people out there, and being on the ground with what's going on, and living out my interests. So I miss it, but it's okay.
Okay. Do you have a personal goal or a target set for yourself to achieve within the next 5 years?
In 5 years' time?
Is there a burning,
in 5 years' time, it would probably be the last year that my son will be serving NS, National Service. And I can just foresee that it would be quite a challenging time, because thereafter he would be applying, to go to college, to university, which means I'll not see him, as regularly as I would like. At that point in time, I really hope to still be active, to be healthy enough to continue playing tennis, perhaps. To be able to, maybe even go trekking without my son, maybe with my husband.
Right.
To walk Camino de Santiago, Machu Picchu, to track Machu Picchu and Kilimanjaro. You know what? I like to be active. So a specific goal, probably to get my, sort out that period where my son goes to college, and figure out, how I can make the best of my life then. I say we because I'm thinking of my husband as well. But in 5 years' time, just to be healthy. That's really important.
What would you like to say to your fans and those who still remember your greatness as a national bowling star?
Raj, I'm very, very thankful that every now and then I still get recognized. It's really sweet of you guys to recognize me on the streets, in wherever we meet, and sometimes even in a store. You give me the opportunity to reminisce, and I get to reminisce with you and to learn more about you too. It's really special and sweet, and so I really thank them, and just for helping me relive what the past had been for me, and thank you for always doing that and not being shy about coming up to say hello.
And thank you for your service to the nation and for all your efforts in charity and for being a great mother as well. And we wish you the very best. Thank you for being on SG Sports Legends. Grace
Thank
Young.
you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Raj.
Thank you.
Thank you.